we just get new services all the time that will make our life more comfortable. I think that it will be really appealing if you have an app saying, no, you shouldn't exercise today, and people are like, oh, that's really nice. So
I don't have to do it.
that's a really, I think people will be like, yeah, that's great, and then I can do this instead, and I can actually exercise tomorrow.
And I think there's two sides to that part, because I think a lot of intermediate lifters, or maybe not intermediate, but between novice and intermediate, once you get going into it and you start to see maybe the first gains and you start to see the progress that you're making, you want to work out every single day. That's like, you want to go to the gym, but it's so counterproductive doing that way. But as you say, it's also important that if you do not give yourself enough time to recover, you probably fall out of the pattern of training, because you'll get injured, or you'll actually get sick of it and tired of it, because your body has to say like stop at some point. So there's probably two sides to that coin.
Yeah, and a healthy long-term pattern is so much better, because as you said, if you just exercise a lot, after that you get an injury and you have to wait 1 month, and after that you won't start again. So if you do a healthy way right away, hopefully you will exercise for several years, and you will have it in your cognitive pattern. And that's the exercise you want to have, when you just don't think about it, you just like do it. And I think there's a big or a key aspect to that, that you just want to get the cognitive pattern going.
Consistency.
Because we have, like, at my home, I live on the 4th floor, and we have like the stairs before the elevator. So normally it's the opposite way around. You have the elevator right away when you come in, and you have the stairs on the side, and then you just go to the elevator. But we have the stairs, and I see them, so I started to take the stairs, and I do it every day now, and I don't even like think, I should take the elevator, because I have it in my pattern. And that's a way of that's the way I heard a podcast where they talked about it, where they tried to make the stairs more compelling. So people were like, yeah, now I want to go and then take the stairs instead, because there's a lot of colors there. And to create that pattern, the everyday use, and to Nils van der Poel, like, it feels like he saw exercise like something else than other athletes, elite athletes. It feels like he just saw the opportunity in a lot of ways, like, I want to try to eat at this food place, this food diner. It's 3 hours away with the bike. I take the bike there instead of taking a car, or not even doing it at all. And he's going up in the north, or he lives in the north, but he's going up hiking for like several weeks, or he didn't put so much effort into ice skating. He knew that I could ice skate. I know how to do it. It's more about my body. So I just exercise a lot of different things to get a more unique body set.
Yeah, and it's the thing you said to try to incorporate exercise. I mean, all type of movement is in a way exercise. Taking the stairs up and down is great for your body, and to try to incorporate these just movement in general into your everyday life. So you do take the stairs instead of the elevator. You do go for a walk to the shop instead of taking the car, if you have time for it, which you usually do. And the same thing, like, before you go and take a shower in the evening, you can do 3 sets of 20 reps push-ups. That's better than doing nothing, usually. And those kind of easy, non-strenuous movements will also, in a way, aid in your recovery, because they are recovery movements in a way, unless they're too taxing on your body. I mean, if you weigh like 150 kilos or 180 kilos and you take the stairs 4 sets, it's going to be very intense for you. So it's all about, like, individually what is suited for you. But just trying to incorporate those aspects into your life is, I think, very, very important for consistency and for just general health. And I also heard that a lot of people that do, if they have a job at a desk, so they work, let's say 9 to 5, they come home and they go for a run for 1 hour. They pat themselves on the back in a way by maybe eating something more unhealthy during the evening, because they think, well, I went running today, so I burnt this and this many calories, and therefore I should be able to do this and this and that, eat this or. play video games until 2 o'clock. But if you instead try to incorporate it in your everyday life, I mean, this is off topic from the app, but just speaking about training in general, you won't really see the movements that you won't see every movement that you've done during the day as an exercise. It's just a part of your life. Trying, as you said, trying to take the stairs, trying to move around as much as possible is very, very valuable, I think.
Like it can be really or you should be really careful with like creating the habit or the connection between like, I went for a run, I'm gonna have a piece of chocolate, because then you're gonna create a craving. Every time after you've had a run, you're gonna have a craving for like chocolate, and you won't know why, but it will be because you've created that distinct or that connection. And there's a book, of course I'm reading a book, but there's a book about like written by a monk and it's talking about different things about meditation and how meditation actually affects the brain. And he's talking a lot about the neuronal or pathways in the brain. I'm not an expert in this, I will probably jumble this up, but essentially when you meditate, you can create a new pathway in your brain for like whatever it is that you're doing. And essentially it's the same with any habit that you create. If you create a new habit, you'll create a pathway so that every time you do that habit, you'll stimulate that pathway and you'll get that sensation. That's why, like, if you have a bad experience with something, you'll build up this neuronal pathway, and then every time you have that, you see that thing again. Let's say it's a snake or something. Every time you see a snake after you've had a bad experience, you'll think back to that experience. You'll instantly like remember it, and you'll feel like you're gonna have a bad experience again because you think you're experiencing it again, even though you're not. And it's the same thing with this thing then, going for a run and eating a piece of chocolate. You'll think that, okay, now I need a piece of chocolate because I've gone for a run. I have the same feelings that I had last time I had a piece of chocolate. And
that's also one way to create a pattern, because I listened to NPR's podcast about patterns and habits, and they were talking about that it's really hard to create good habits because it usually takes up to 3 months. Fact check, but it takes 3 months to create that pattern, like in a cognitive way, and that you have to have some sort of that chocolate. But that chocolate could be like, I sit on my bike in my office, and at the same time I'm allowed to watch this TV show, and it's only by this time. Because the normal thing is that people go out and run 5K, thinks that they have, because they've done it before, they can do it again. They come back and they feel like terrible. So I usually, instead of eating that chocolate, I say to my friends who are into running, because I run a lot, I tell them like, run 3,000 meters, so like 2 miles basically.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, around 2 miles, and run that. It will go terrible. Well, at the time, if you look at time, you run in 20 minutes. That's not good. But in 2 weeks, you won't be feeling like really tired afterwards. So you can do it 2 days later. And after 2 weeks, you probably run it in 18 minutes instead of 20, and you see a progress. And right away, when you see the first progress, you get hooked.
Exactly.
And then you can continue, and you have 16 minutes, 14 minutes, and then you go on a longer distance than you did before.
That's a really, really common issue. I myself have done that quite a lot of times, especially with running. I had a period in my life where I was running quite a lot, and I was into it. You know, you get into the pattern of running, you start liking it, you get runners high, you like the feeling of it, you come back, you can check your time, and you're like, yeah, I improved from yesterday, and that's great. But I kind of fell out of that pattern for a couple of years, and in the back of my head, I was like, I can still run, take it easy. And my friend, who's also a runner, long distance, he's a long distance runner in a way, also sprinter and stuff. We went for a longer run, and I was so trashed after that run. My legs were hurt, like it was so bad, and we ran in the forest as well. So it's like, you know, a bunch of hills and ups and downs. I wore new shoes. My feet were completely ruined, and the experience in general, like I was happy that I did it
Yeah.
afterwards, but the connotation I made with running wasn't that happy feeling that I had
No.
previously. It was instead of I was like, bloody hell, this is so exhausting
No.
and hard. And if you go into the gym when you're a beginner, or if you address running the same way by doing the maximum effort
No.
in the beginning, you're not going to be excited
No.
to go for another run. You're not going to be excited to go to the gym again. And I actually heard quite recently on, I think it was Instagram, just scrolling through, or maybe it was like a YouTube short or something. I don't remember who it was, but if I can find it, I'll let you guys know who it was. But he explained that he had, I don't know if it was a client or something, that would go to the gym and set a time frame of 6 minutes. That during these 6 minutes, I'm gonna work out. So this person went to the gym, worked out for 6 minutes, and then went back home and did that like every day pretty much for a while. Obviously not getting too much work in, but he set the habit. So he created a habit of going to the gym and working out, and also a positive feeling in regards to that training, or in regards to going to the gym, that I went to the gym, give yourself a pat on the back, you come home, you're still feeling fine, you probably got a bit of endorphins and stuff from actually working out.
Yeah.
And he just increased the time, not successfully, what do you say, successively, and also the intensity on workout. But the summary, or not the summary, but the lesson that this person told, or the essence of what he was trying to say was, before you can improve on a habit, you have to establish the habit.
No.
And that's the same with anything, especially with training. Like you have to establish going for a 3-kilometer run every day, not every day, but every other day for maybe a month before you even attempt running a 5K or 10K is so much beneficial for you, because you're building up your body, building up your confidence, you're building up this sensation of being outside and going for a run is something that I love to do. So yeah, I definitely think that creating these cognitive patterns is essential to be consistent in your training.
All right, thank you for watching this episode. And if you want to see more of us, you can check us out at any of the podcasting platforms of your choice, where you'll find us under the name of The Exit Strategy. And you can check out one of these clips also if you want to.